Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. We've just had a very interesting evening. I think it's safe to say Arsenal did beat Manchester United tonight, which means that Arsenal have gone back to the top of the table. And the way that it's looking right now is mad. Manchester City, 1 point behind Arsenal, but they've still got one game to play. And that game to play is against Tottenham. At Tottenham. I never in a million years would have thought that we'd be in a situation where Arsenal would be hoping that Tottenham win a football match at home. This is where we are, and this is what's going to happen, because if Man City slip up, even if they were to draw, Arsenal will go into the final day top of the table. And this is where I can't believe we are really starting to feel that there is a genuine possibility here that Arsenal could win the league. It's super, super tight. I do still expect Man City to beat Tottenham, but you never know. And if we go through history tells us that City and Tottenham, things can go a little left at Spurs for Man City, and you don't know why, but I'd like to think Man City go all guns blazing and they get a result. You'd like to think. Anyway, we will see. But tonight, Arsenal beat Manchester United 1-0, which means that in the race for Europa League, Arsenal have done Chelsea a favour. Manchester United are not in a good situation now. And if we are to go to the league table, let's show you exactly how it's going to stand for Newcastle, Chelsea and Manchester United now. This is it. This is the league as it stands right now. Newcastle, 36 games, 57 points. Chelsea, 36 games, 57 points. Man United, 36 games, 54 points. Now, if you look at the goal difference, there is a huge goal difference between all three teams. 10 goal difference between Newcastle and Chelsea, and 16 goal difference between Chelsea and Manchester United. How have Manchester United ended up in this position and they're still in the minus? It's actually quite crazy when you think about it. But this is the situation going in with 2 games to go. It basically does cement that Chelsea absolutely need to beat Brighton. Now that's going to come in midweek. We are playing Brighton on Tuesday. No, sorry, not Tuesday. Tottenham Man City is on Tuesday. Brighton, Chelsea, and Manchester United, Newcastle. This is where you're gonna have to get the calculators out. It's gonna get crazy. We play on Wednesday at the same time. So you best believe there will be a double watch along on Wednesday night when we are going through the motions to watch Brighton versus Chelsea. We will also simultaneously be watching Manchester United Newcastle, because Chelsea in this regard do need Manchester United to drop a result against Newcastle. We need them to draw at the bare minimum. Man United can beat Newcastle. That will also help us, but that would mean that we could end up with a situation where everyone is really close to each other. So it would help as long as Newcastle drop points. Let me actually show you the league table again. This is, if Man United beat Newcastle, we're in a great position as long as we beat Brighton. Or even if we draw, because we would end up 1 point ahead in 6th going into the final day with the whole situation in our control. But we want to win. If Man United and Newcastle draw, then again, similar situation. We would have to win in that case, because even if we draw, it would mean we would still be behind Newcastle on goal difference, and we can't risk that. If Newcastle win now, then we have to win, and we have to hope that Newcastle bottle the last game on the final day, where we play Bournemouth at home and Newcastle play Brentford away. I don't know what to think about that one. But Man United are in a bad situation now in terms of playing European football. It looks like they could genuinely miss out on European football. And it's looking more and more likely now that Manchester United have to win the FA Cup final for them to get Europa League. If not, there's a chance here that they might not be playing Europa. They might not be playing European football whatsoever. Because if they lose the FA Cup and they still finish 8th, they will be missing out. Because 6th would go to Europa League and 7th would go to Conference League. We still haven't mathematically qualified for the Conference League. I have seen that touted about. Not yet. There is still a scenario where we could end up 8th. It's looking unlikely now, I have to say, but there is a scenario where we could end up 8th, and that's if we lose both our games and United win both their games, or win one and draw one, which is starting to look unlikely. But it's all getting tasty at the top of the table and also for this Europa League spot. So get the calculators out. That's the latest. Manchester United losing tonight against Arsenal at home in a game where United played better. But I don't think Arsenal were bothered. Arsenal got that goal from Trossard. Havertz cutting into the box. Good assist. Into the goal. Poor defending. Really poor defending. I mean, it was a tap-in with 3 defenders around Trossard. Yet Trossard still got it. Crazy. But after that, Arsenal were just playing damage limitation. Just defend and don't let them through, basically. Don't let them score. And Arsenal were efficient enough in the end. It wasn't the prettiest game, but right now in this situation, they just needed the 3 points. It's like yesterday. Chelsea, first 10 minutes, last 10 minutes, beautiful. In between, horrible, but we got the 3 points and we made the comeback. Right now, that is genuinely all we care about and all we need. Because it means a lot. And for Arsenal, it definitely means a lot because they want to try and win the league. So it's getting tasty. But we got Brighton next. This is going to be such... I'm kind of glad, I have to be honest, that Chelsea are genuinely playing for something. Like, we're going into these games now with a little bit of nerves. I miss these nerves. I want some nerves. I don't want to go into these games just dead inside. We've been dead inside for way too long. It's nice that we've actually got something to try and play for. And there's a good chance that we might actually get it. Let's hope that we get the job done against Brighton, and we will be watching the Newcastle-Manchester United game simultaneously. So make sure you're here on Wednesday. Make sure you are here for the watch along. It's going to be an interesting one. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified once I have gone live. And we will go through the motions. Let's go through the news. To wrap up, it's interesting news. It's good news, but it's interesting news because it's David Ornstein coming out with this. And David Ornstein, nowadays anyway, is very mainstream, almost Fabrizio. And you worry that sometimes he's basically reporting what he's told to report. But more times than not, you'd think that he is fairly reliable because it's just David Ornstein. But he's come out with information which is good news for Chelsea and buys a lot of time. Let's get into it. Here it is. Chelsea do not need to make sales by June 30th to comply for the 23-24 season. Chelsea will need to make sales to comply with 24-25. Interesting. How has that happened? It's a weird one. I don't think many of us thought this would be the case, where, all right, we don't need to make sales for 23-24, or we do need to make sales for 24-25. Interesting. Now, here's more. Let's get into it. They do need to make sales, is my understanding, to comply for the 23-24... They do not, need to make sales, is my understanding, to comply for the 23-24 season, whose cut-off is June 30th. They will need to make sales to comply with 24-25, which cut-off is the end of the transfer window in August, and then January as well. So basically, this summer window coming, and the January window, obviously this summer window post June 30th, we have to add, that goes into next year's accounts, and the January window. Those, and up until June 30th going into next year as well. We do need to make sales. This changes the dynamic. Now, there are some people, I've read this and I'm like, you know what, with Chelsea nowadays, you never know, that are saying that this information has been briefed and is being put out in order to give the other teams the notion that Chelsea are not desperate to sell. And therefore, when Chelsea do sell, they will hopefully acquire more money for those players, because the brief that's gone out to everyone is Chelsea are not desperate. We're good. We don't need to make these sales. So in a negotiating position, we're in a good position and we can demand more. Some reckon that that's just the theory, that we're doing that to make others think that's the case and then still hopefully make the sales with the price that we want. Whilst David Ornstein is basically saying, well, no, Chelsea just need to make sales next year, that's all. Which does change the dynamic, because if we still need to make sales, but for next year, we're still going to, I think, sell players like Conor Gallagher, Trevor Chalobah, but there's no June 30th deadline. We can go all the way up until the end of the window. And that's going to drag things out a lot further. And I think Chelsea at that point will be quite hell-bent on getting a certain price. So it's, again, this has also put another spanner in the works in terms of what everyone was expecting. Are Chelsea going to get the money that they want? Now, I got to be honest. If Pochettino is staying, he's not going to want Gallagher to go. We've just got to clarify that now. And I also want to raise a thing about another player here. Trevor Chalobah is playing well at a point now where even I don't want him to be sold. I would love if Chalobah stayed. I don't want him gone. But these guys are pure profit. Do you see the dilemma now that we have? This is the problem. So we will see. Now, if we have to make sales for next season, the ones that are going to get you the most money are going to be the pure profit players. So I think Chelsea are genuinely going to attempt to try and get these players out of the door. But are they going to go? Do they even want to go? Does Pochettino want them to go? If Pochettino is not the man, well, then who is? Is De Zerbi going to be the guy? I mean, we got so many questions that we need answering going into this window. It's going to be an interesting window. Make sure you guys are here and we will cover all the details. I will be here to give you guys my reaction. This summer is going to be insane. Insane. So we will see how it all goes. Now, David Ornstein has said more. Let's get right into it. They, the Chelsea owners, will continue to look for the best young players in the world, irrespective of age. It's all about experience and quality and the principles that this new ownership at Chelsea want to see going forward. I can sense a little bit of a paradox there. There is another update in regards to this from Ornstein, check this out, which is what I've referred to. What we don't know is whether Mauricio Pochettino will be in charge of that. Well, yeah, basically, we still have that to be answered, and I think we're going to find out pretty soon. I think on the basis of whether we get Europa League or not, we will see. This, what I've just read, is a paradox. They will continue to look for the best young players in the world. Okay, irrespective of age, it's all about experience and quality. So are we trying to go for the players like Vinicius Jr. or what are we doing? Are we going for the young players that clearly have all the experience that this team actually needs? Are we going to try and go and get a Rodrigo from Real Madrid, for example? If that's the sort of level that we're trying to get, even despite their age, Rodrigo's a young guy, these guys are young guys, yeah? Well, cool, I'm on board. I want quality in this team. And I agree, it's not necessarily just about the age. It's not about trying to go and get a 30-year-old. That's not what I think anyone is trying to say. We need good experience coming into this team. And you can get good experience being 23, being 24. You can, right? It's going to cost you, but you can get it. But this is why I'm saying, in order to shift the model and get these players, Alan Shearer brought it into perspective, fantastic, on Match of the Day yesterday when talking about Nicholas Jackson. And how he says Nicholas Jackson's movement is great. He's got all of this great movement, but it's his final touch, his final decision, his first touch that he takes sometimes. All of these little tweaks that he needs, and that's going to come if he has another number 9 that is leading, that he can look up to and grow under, right? I agree with that. But that doesn't mean bringing a 30-year-old. It doesn't mean bringing a 30. It means bringing someone that's done the mileage, and you get players nowadays that are young and have done the mileage. Players that know what they're doing. But these players are going to cost you. This is why I've said, screw this salary cap. Get rid of it. If we genuinely have a salary cap of 150k a week and under, get rid of it, because you're not going to attract these best young players that you are trying to get in that case. You're not going to do it. So in order to get the quality, that level of experience that is going to instantly impact and help the team and help these players grow, like a Nico Jackson that needs guidance, then pay the money. That's what we have to do. Don't hold back. and stop going for 16-year-olds. Please. So I hope that makes sense. And I can guarantee, if we went into the summer window, just a hypothetical, hypothetical. If we went into the window and we actually pulled off a Rodrigo or a Theo Hernandez, you think we're complaining? Absolutely not. That's the quality that this team would need to take it to the next level and to help the young players grow. Absolutely. So what are we going to do? I look forward to getting the answer. Hopefully we do the right thing. Let me quote Russell Peters. Do the right thing. Be a man. Anyway, that is the latest. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. We will go into more detail tomorrow without a doubt. And then Tuesday will be the preview for Brighton versus Chelsea. It's going to be an interesting one. Make sure you guys are here. And I might even preview United Newcastle in that fact because it's so important to us. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Check out the socials. They are on screen and in the description. Much appreciated. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. Catch you then. Take care and peace.